Welcome to Mimi Behind the Mic, where healing happens one story at a time. I'm Beth, your host, Mimi to my precious grandchildren. Let's talk about bullying, boundaries, and beliefs, share our experience, strength, and hope, and most importantly, embrace solutions together. Buckle up. The adventure starts now, behind the mic. Hi there, and welcome to Mimi Behind the Mic. Thanks for being here. I have my lovely guest, Victoria Toon, back with me for episode number 2 that I am super excited about. Thank you so much for being here so early on a Saturday morning, Victoria. I appreciate it. Would you like to just share a little bit about yourself again, and then we can get into what we're going to discuss today?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Victoria. I am a single mom and I am a full-time student doing my substance abuse counseling. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do right now. I promote health and wellness on TikTok and just live life as a mom.
Love it. As such a young person that has already accomplished so many things, and your goals are so loud and bold and powerful because they're so positive. I
Mhm.
so appreciate that. Not only for your generation, but the next generation, my grandchildren, and your daughter. This world needs to hear your voice, and I appreciate you being here sharing it so much. So, substance abuse counseling, where are you with that right now?
Yeah, so I just finished my SAC part of it, which is the substance abuse counseling certification, and I'm on to my human service provider associate's degree. So I have the fall semester and then I have my spring semester, and then I will be done with that part of it. And then I may go for my bachelor's. I'm debating on it. I'm probably going to go for my bachelor's and do psychology. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm in my second year, so that's where I'm at right now, and I'm about to begin my internship for my license.
That's fantastic. That is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I am so motivated by young people with passion, especially in this realm, in this path of life. Addiction is one of the paths that has gotten louder and louder in my experience in life. And that's why I love to talk about it on here. So, can we start with addiction? Can you share a little bit about your experience and what your hopes are in this area?
Yeah, so I would say with my addiction, I got introduced to that world in like 2019. I would say roughly maybe 2019. Not the best estimate, but I was about 19 when I got introduced to that. And it was because of a relationship that I was in had introduced me to that. And that was his lifestyle, not mine, completely not mine. And I didn't really fully dive into it up until 2 years ago. And that was because of a situation that happened that caused me to kind of full down slide into it for like a good year. And then that whole,
Are you referencing substance abuse addiction?
yes,
Okay.
I am referencing straight, like talking about alcohol specifically. I would specifically drink pretty much every weekend. I mean, to the point where even if I had my kid, I would still drink. And that's really hard to admit as a mom, to think you would think that your kid should be enough not to. But when the substance and the addiction and that pull is so strong, it doesn't matter. You still love your kid no matter what, but that's not enough. And it was getting to that point where it wasn't enough. Didn't matter how much I loved my kid, it wasn't enough. And so I had to make a choice. It was either completely lose my kid 100% or go the other direction. And in my mind, there was no losing my kid. I only had one option. It was going the other direction because I wasn't going to be that mom that didn't have my kid. I wasn't going to give up my kid. I was going to go the other direction. So that's what I did. I went the other direction because there was no other option. So I went on my recovery journey, and that started in 2023. And it's been a journey. I mean, it's not been the easiest journey, but it's been a journey for sure. There's times that I've still slipped up before um during that journey, and you get like so comfortable with how your life is going that you think you can handle everything, and it's right back that way, and it's really quickly too. I don't think you realize, like, people don't realize how quick you can go back the other direction. you know?
I
So,
do, and I
like
appreciate you sharing that and being so vulnerable, and I totally hear you, and I totally get it. One of the tools that I embrace is just for today. All I
mhm,
have is today, and if I don't start my day thanking God before my feet hit the floor, I'm in trouble because
mhm,
my problem is up here now. The alcohol
mhm,
has been gone for almost 5 years, but that's
mhm,
only what's the word I'm looking for? A symptom. That's only a
mhm,
symptom. The issue for me is up here,
mhm.
and I can easily convince myself, "Oh, I'm good. I got this."
Yeah,
And as a younger person, it's easier to do. It's a
yeah,
powerful, powerful thing. Our minds are powerful, powerful things.
for sure.
Do you wanna share how you began your recovery journey and what that looks like?
So, with my recovery journey, it was the really first thing was that made me realize was other people stepping in and saying, "Hey, you have a problem." Because the first thing I didn't want to do was admit that I have a problem. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just drinking on the weekends. Like, I'm not drinking during the week. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just drinking on the weekends. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, well, take a step back. You're now taking your daughter back to her father so you can go drink. You're now going out of town. You're doing all these other things just to drink. Taking a step back and looking back at it and looking at it from a different angle, I was like, wait. And I remember the moment that I decided it was at a fall festival in Decatur. And I was like, I remember telling my mom, I said, it's time. I just was sitting there. I said, it's time. Right around this time of year, it was like, because it was August. I think it was like August or September. I told her, I said, it's time. I said, I've had enough. It's time. So I did it. And it was just that moment. We made that phone call that day and I got in like either that day or the next day. And I went to rehab, did that journey, and then went from and never looked back.
Substance abuse, especially alcohol, is a plague, especially in
Yeah.
your generation. It's a plague in every generation, but it's so loud today. What do you do today to keep your mind and your spirit where you want it to be?
Well, I would like to say that I try to do stuff, but here lately, life has gotten kind of loud because I have a lot that's been going on. So I kind of haven't been doing what I've been supposed to be doing. But normally I would really be in tune with myself and with God and everything. But I'm kind of being back in tune with the world and it's not, and I'm catching myself. And last night was a really good example of how quick it can go. So I'm just very thankful that it didn't get any further than it could have gone and any worse than it did last night. So I'm using last night as an example to move forward and to teach other and help other people know that it is still an option. You can have setbacks, but it doesn't mean that you can't move forward from that.
Amen. Amen. And that's why one day at a time works for me because that's all I got.
Mhm.
If I look at the big picture and the way I lived pre-recovery for 58 years, I was a perfectionist. I needed to know everything that was gonna happen, when it was gonna happen, and exactly how it was gonna happen for the next 6 months. That's insane thinking for me today, and it
For sure.
doesn't work. And what does recovery work look like for you? What are the logistical things that you do in case somebody's listening that is experiencing the same thing, what would you what do you do first, and what would you suggest to them or encourage them to do?
I would say the biggest thing for me is my support system, is leaning into that support system. 'Cause if you don't have someone that you can call, whether that's a sponsor or just a friend that can be like, "Hey, don't do it." Or you can be like, "Hey, I really wanna do it," and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at your house in 10 minutes, don't do it." That's important. 'Cause, like, last night, I called my parents and I'm like, "Hey, I screwed up," and they were there. Granted, they were mad at me, but they were still there. You know, they're parents, they're gonna be mad at me, it's 3 AM in the morning, but to have that support system, that's the biggest thing that I would recommend is having someone as a lifeline that you can call. And then the second thing that I would recommend is having some sort of activity that you can do in your free time. 'Cause that's when it gets the loudest, is the free time. When you have downtime and you have free time and you have nothing to do and you get bored, that's when you wanna do something else. Find something to fill your free time that is healthy and that is moving you forward.
And what would that be for people your age or younger?
So honestly, for me personally, I took up crocheting. It sounds really interesting.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing. I took up crocheting. I'm not the best at it right now. I don't know why, but I have really bad like anxiety and stuff, but it does not stress me out. It like I get in the flow and I start going and it's like amazing.
It brings you down,
But
your
yes, it
anxiety.
does. It really does. You can do reading, you can do art, like there's so many different things that are healthy outlets that you can do and participate in. You could even go to like a museum or something or like a park and to picnic, do something.
Yeah. Have you found that a physical thing is necessary, not
Yes.
only working on your mind?
Yes, I do feel like when I get overstimulated in my mind and I start it's like been a habit where I would pick it up and I'll randomly pick it up and I'll start going at it. And then I haven't even like thought about the concept that I just automatically went to it. It's like an automatic like
Yeah.
relaxer.
Yeah.
And it's so much like it's such a different concept to like just automatically go to it. It's really interesting how it can relax and help it does really work. I really truly believe that having something physical to do can alter that thought. Your brain chemistry as well. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Early on in recovery, I heard the term halt.
Mhm.
When I'm hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, that's when I need to pick up the phone. Sometimes the phone weighs 1,000 pounds, right?
Mhm. Right.
Want to pick it up, but pick up the phone or do something physical.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
things you mentioned, I totally agree with. And what I do today, go to the gym, go out in nature,
Yeah.
take a few breaths out in, the fresh air, even if it's raining, whatever it looks like. And I've seen crocheting online. I have some family members who took that up a while ago, like making those little animals, you know,
Mhm.
that just grows into scarves or hats or blankets.
Mhm.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah. It's
Um,
really so yeah.
yeah. Do you attend meetings or have a sponsor?
I probably should. I did when I first started,
Okay.
but I kind of got into the mindset of, life and I don't need all that. I was going to CR, but the group kind of fizzled out.
Okay. What is
So I
CR for our listeners?
it's Celebrate Recovery. It's a Christian-based group. So it's a Christian-based recovery group and they do anything and everything. So you can do mental health, you can recover from eating disorders, you can recover from anything there. Anything you are struggling with, you name it.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of social activities, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah,
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 they're huge, so
yeah, I found that platform when I started my recovery also because I was kinda struggling with, well, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and I know I left him in my rearview mirror for years, but now he's back. He never left me, I left him.
Mhm.
How do
Yeah,
I do this? I'm very
yeah,
familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous because I grew
mhm,
up in it. It was in my
yeah.
family since I was a child.
I mean, I like AA, I just like the concept of God in my recovery a little bit more than just my higher power.
Yeah, I agree. 12 steps work for me.
Mhm,
Al-Anon became my lifeline
mhm,
my
yeah,
first year of sobriety because I've also experienced people in my life that have gotten sober but never worked a recovery program.
mm,
So nothing changes except the physical. Mine is all up here. This is what I want to change. I don't want to be angry and resentful anymore. I want to be
yeah,
free.
yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
what working a program brings me. When I talk about my higher power, I do it as respect to the program because I have a huge respect for the program
Mhm,
that I've been around it my whole life. But Jesus is my higher power. I know it. He knows it, you know?
yeah,
So, yeah. And I love that there's such a loud recovery presence online today.
yeah, there is, really, you can go pretty much anywhere
Yeah.
and get recovery.
Yeah, and
I do
especially
like
for
that.
young people. Even like Alateen is not as vivid as Al-Anon or AA, but
Mhm,
it needs to be,
it does.
and that's
Mhm,
why I think this technology and what we're doing, podcasts, is a great
mm,
avenue.
Yeah.
for your generation and the next to reach out if they want to or need to.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, thank you so much again for sharing that vulnerability. And I love that you're being so honest with yourself. I think that's so important. I think that's the first step, to be honest with ourselves and our God,
Mhm. For sure.
and then take it from there. And for me, when I remember to do that every day, like I said, before my feet hit the floor,
Yeah.
it makes for a good day. And when I stumble, because I am human,
Mhm.
and especially when emotions are involved, they get bigger and bigger and become a tornado. That's my danger zone, and I
Yeah,
stumble. But
for sure.
today, I get up a lot faster. I jump out of the tornado a lot faster
Mhm. Yeah.
because of the tools that I've acquired.
Mhm. For sure.
So when I remember the tools, I use them and I get gentle reminders from
Mhm.
my lifelines.
Yeah, that's
God, those gentle reminders
yeah.
are awesome in my morning readings, in my new habits. And yeah, it just works because I want it to work so much today.
Yeah, that's
So grateful that you do too. And that's so evident that you're here. You could be in bed sleeping the day away.
yeah, I so could.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those days, and I've got so much yeah, we got so much fun stuff today, so
Well, good. You have plans for the rest of your day?
yeah, my sister's, bridal showers today, so we'll have fun plans later.
Nice. Oh, nice. Very good. Well, let's move on. Would you share a little bit about your motherhood journey? Whatever you want to share about.
Yeah. So my little blessing, I had her when I was 21. Oh my God, she is my mini me. She is just a sweetheart. She was early when she came. She was 5 weeks. And I was preeclamptic when she came too. So that was complications. But she was completely healthy. She was ready to come out. The doctors said that she was fine. She was healthy. She was ready. And I was like, stubborn like her mom, just ready to come out of this into this world. So she was just ready.
She was 5 weeks early from your date,
Mhm.
delivery date. Okay.
Yeah, she was supposed to be January, actually. So she would have been a January baby, not a December baby. She was
Oh,
December 21st. So but yeah, she came out strong like she is. She's very strong-willed, very sweet, very tender. But she honestly, I tell people all the time that she changed my life. She saved my life, truly. 'Cause the situation that I was in, wasn't the best, and that's the only way I got out of it.
and that's how we met, actually. And a mutual friend shared a video that you posted on
Mhm,
being addicted to a person, which is a real
yeah.
thing.
Yes, that
And
is a thing.
you shared about that in our first episode together. And that's an
It
incredible story because addiction has many, many lanes.
it does.
And people don't use the word, but it affects, in my experience, each lane affects everybody the same way, whether it's alcohol, drugs, alcohol is a drug,
Mhm.
sex, shopping, gambling, people. Have you had any experience with online addictions? The predators online are just disgustingly loud. The
Mhm.
internet, as good as it is, that's how black it is. Have you
Mhm.
had any experience with that yourself or with people that you've worked with?
I have not I mean, I have been scammed before, I will say, but I have not I mean, I will say there was a time in my life, my teen years, where I did go through the whole sugar daddy phase. I think a lot of us younger teenage girls kind of went through that sugar daddy phase where we were gonna get sugar daddies and we were all gonna, be millionaires and stuff. And that's how I ended up getting scammed of $3,000 that I didn't even have my own money.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was a teenager, obviously, and I didn't have $3,000. Well, I was 18, but still. So I did go through that. But yeah, no, it is really, I don't like seeing, and I pray that my daughter never becomes one of those type of girls that does the whole OnlyFans or all those type of things. I do not understand as a woman why you would feel so low and so insecure about yourself that you feel like that's the only way you can feel. I can't even begin to put in words how they feel. Like, I can't comprehend why they put themselves out there like that. I feel like it's so sad to me to see that they feel so, like, low that they have to put themselves out there like that.
Yeah, and, it's heartbreaking and infuriating in the same breath for me as a Mimi and a mom of adults, because it happens with boys and girls. I have an adult son and an adult daughter, and I've experienced it in both of their lives. They've experienced it in both of their lives. It's a real thing. Do you think that that's a gateway to addiction?
I think it can be. I think anything can be a gateway to addiction because especially that one would especially be a gateway to money. I mean, if you think about it, that's all they're doing, money and sex. That is the main thing of an OnlyFans is to gain money and sell their body, basically.
Is that a platform, OnlyFans, or
Hmm.
an app? Yeah.
It's a platform where they basically post pictures.
Really? Oh, that's like is that one of the things that is referred to as the black market, the black internet?
No. So the black market, the dark web or the black
Dark
market,
web, that's what I was thinking of.
the dark web is different. That is a lot harder to get into. That is like, most of the time you have to have really good computer skills to be able to get into the dark web.
Okay.
It's very hard to access, but that is some very dark stuff in there. That's where a lot of stuff is sold, like, very like, I've watched videos about people that have purchased boxes off of the dark web, and there's been, like, body parts in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they sell stuff like that on the dark web. It's bad stuff. So if anyone ever gets access to that, it's bad stuff.
Yeah, and it's evil. It's like everything
It
in
is.
the world that I've experienced is light or dark, black or
It is.
Jesus,
It's
the devil.
it
It's
is,
the same
literally.
thing. It's the same
Literally.
trafficking,
Mhm,
that the fear used to paralyze me about
mhm.
trafficking with my children and now with my grandchildren because it's so real, and the
It's a real
internet has helped it become more real on the
yeah,
dark side and the light side, which is
yeah,
fabulous. But yeah, it's
yeah, and it's a scary thing to think that, like, your kid could be at a park and you could look away for 1 second and they're gone.
yep, yep,
'Cause I watched the Amber Alert movie a couple of days ago,
okay,
and every time I watch it, it makes me think of how easy it is to just look away for 5 seconds and your kid's gone, and that could be my kid, and that is the scary reality. That's the world we live in,
yes. Even
you
for
know?
you, even for you, people are pros, just like hackers are pros. They're brilliant at what they do. I saw a guy, I don't remember his name right now, but he does this, went to parks and introduced himself to the mom sitting on the bench and said, "Hey, I'm doing this documentary. I'm doing these Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives to bring awareness to this. Do you
Mhm,
mind if do you think if I bring this puppy over to your son who's playing over there, that he'll come with me to see the other puppies?" And each mom he spoke to said, "Absolutely not. I talk to him all the time." And the two that I watched, the kids went with him,
mm,
puppies, but he's spreading awareness, which is
mhm, yeah,
incredible to me. And
yeah,
that's the good part of the internet,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
And this too. I mean, podcasts talking about it.
yeah, for
Does your
sure.
daughter have a phone?
No, not yet. I'm thinking it's something to be discussed, but it is the other thing is gets scary is not knowing on what goes on on the other side. That's the lack of communication. That's the scary part is being on the out, and that's when I really have to just trust God
Yeah,
that He's got my kid
yeah. It is.
because that is God's child and I am God's child, and that is the end of the story.
Amen. Amen. It's still hard and it's still heartbreaking. But doing the work that you're doing and learning the tools and being reminded of the tools you already have is how we are able to trust God. And one of the reasons why I started numbing, because that's the nice, fun part of
Mm,
alcohol. Yeah, well, let me just not think about this. Let me
Mhm.
have a few drinks and feel great and dance the night away until it's not. It's fun
Yeah.
until it's not fun.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on when young people, because of your experience in life so far and in your career so far, what are your thoughts on young people having phones and like, should they, shouldn't they, when should they?
I feel like the world, it's a toss up because the world we live in is so dangerous and it's so here on your phone. A lot of it is accessible on your phone, but at the same time, that's your life, that's your safe line too to get help, you know? Like, I don't cuz the whole school thing where they took the phones away from school. Okay, well, let's say you have a shooting now and nobody has cell phones. Nobody knows where the shooter is. I think that's now an issue, you know?
Don't the teachers still have them, just not the students?
I think the teachers have them, yes, but let's say the teacher worst case scenario, the teacher's been shot. Nobody in that classroom has a phone now,
Yeah.
you know?
If they don't have access to her password or something. Yeah.
Mhm. I think doing I think trying to I get why they did it, but I also think they didn't fully look at the broad picture of the cause and effect of everything.
Yeah.
And I think you have to look at the cause and effect and the pros and the cons, and are the cons really bigger than the pros? Like, okay, so they may be on their phone in class, but if there is an issue and something bad happens, at least they have a phone in class that they can call, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And, it goes back to how do we get middle school, for example, even elementary school? I see kids with phones, but children younger than high school, how do we
Mhm,
get them to a place that we've acquired because of our life's experience?
mhm.
They're still young. They don't
Yeah.
fully understand the good and the bad. They're still
Mm,
invincible.
yeah.
How do we get them to know what's safe and what's not and want to be safe?
I definitely feel like not fully allowing full access to that social media world, especially for elementary. I'm not gonna my kid can have a phone, like, when the older she gets, when that happens, I'm not gonna allow her to have TikTok or whatever. I'm not gonna even if she has YouTube access right now, but it's kid friendly.
Yeah.
It's for her age group. Like, I'm not gonna allow her to have full range access to but there are people out there that do that, and that's why they have these kids that have full access, and that's where you get these elementary kids and middle schooler kids that are getting involved in these activities that are way above their age, you know? And I think it has become that they are involved in stuff that is not age appropriate, and we need to get back to getting our kids in age appropriate. And I think that comes back down to the parents and the parenting and what level of parenting are we doing and how involved are we as parents.
Amen. And that's, a phone or an iPad
Mhm.
is a good way to give mama or dad time to do what they want to do, but to just turn their brains off. But which is a good thing, but the balance so that our children and grandchildren can learn the balance at a younger age. I was
Mhm.
at the Jersey Shore last week because one of my nieces got engaged on the beach.
Oh, that's cute.
And I was able to spend time with some nieces and a nephew and just talk to them as adults. Like, these are
Mhm.
conversations I would love to have with them because I
Mhm.
don't. I live so far away, but everybody's life moves so fast today. Yeah, I totally agree with you about the what's appropriate and what's not, because full-blown access. Also, what are your thoughts and experience on the flip side, which probably incorporates full-blown access to being online, isolation?
I Okay, so I have family members that have done the opposite. I I have been borderline sheltered, not completely, so I'm in between. I've had some exposure, some my parents were really good about in between. I'm an in between, and then I have some that are over, and then I have some family members that are under, sheltered completely. So I have seen all of the aspects of what everything has done when you have isolation and sheltered completely. And I will tell you the biggest thing that happens when you have a kid that is completely isolated and shut out from that world is it messes up here.
Okay.
And because then they don't know how to interact socially. And then they get curious and they do everything that they're not supposed to. And so now they're out in the world as an adult and they're learning everything and seeing everything for the first time and they're doing everything.
Yeah. And you're
And they're
referring
up.
to being isolated from the world versus a godly home in the church, growing up in the church?
Hmm?
Are you referring to isolation as isolation from the world in a
Mm-hmm.
Christian perspective?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And did you mention you were homeschooled also?
I was not. I went to public school.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't grow up that way, but isolation that I have experience in and that I'm experiencing now is when parents are too involved in their own thing,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm by myself way too much, that my children were by themselves way
Mm-hmm.
too much when I was a single working mother on Wall Street.
Yeah.
I see a clearer perspective today. I wish I had this perspective 30 years
Mhm.
ago and this wisdom and this life's experience, but that's not how life works, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
you're so young and you're learning it now. So
Mm-hmm.
that gives your daughter, in my opinion, a much bigger perspective than you had growing up. Would you
For
agree?
sure. I definitely would.
In so many different areas, spirituality, home life,
Mhm.
and what you're involved in now, addiction and how the world sucks you in, and the realities of the darkness and the light of the internet, how wonderful it could be. Like, I love these AI schools that are popping up all over the place because a mom had children who were not, regular school was not working for them, private school was not working for them. So she birthed this AI school and they're kind of popping up in different states and stuff. It's a new way of learning and
Mhm.
to have the openness because we've healed a little bit. You have
Mhm.
more openness today to what the world's going to look like in 10 years for your daughter than maybe your
Yeah.
parents had for you at her age.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um, and I do as a Mimi now than I did when my children were my grandchildren's age. So to stay in the positive and to be grateful for all of this is a key part of my recovery and where I try to keep my mind and my spirit daily. And I know you do too, just by being here.
Yes.
So what else? I'm just looking at my notes. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Let's see. Trying to think. I mean, there's so much I could talk about. I am so very passionate about everything that I do. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't passionate about it.
While you're living life, while you're still growing up,
Yeah,
while you're
for sure.
experiencing the painful parts of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy going to school and being a mom and doing an internship and having a job, and I don't think people really talk about all that, like, juggling everything at one time. They just 'cause, people are like, "Oh, typically, I would be done with school by now," you know? I'm supposed to be done with school and have a college degree already and not be
Yeah.
going to school. I'm supposed to be married and already have another kid. I did it a
Perfect
little bit
life,
different,
right? The
but
white picket
right.
fence.
Right. But juggling school and a kid, it's doable, but it's not easy, but, like, I'm doing it, and I think it's possible for other people that want to do it. Like, that's the biggest thing that, like, I want people to know is that it's possible for other people to do it. You can still go to school, have a kid, focus on your recovery, and have a job, and do whatever, and do life, you know? You can do all those things together. It's possible, it's all possible.
Amen. And it takes a village, but it sounds like you're building your village.
Mhm.
And that's
I'm
a beautiful thing at your age. You just reminded me of something I heard. When I fall in the black hole, I need people to help me get out
Yeah.
because I get out quicker and quicker today, right? But
Mhm.
there's always going to be another black hole in my path to fall.
Yeah, for sure.
None of this is a one and done in my
Mm-mm.
experience. It's a daily thing. It's a daily work. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we could definitely talk for hours and hours. So episode 3, I'm putting in a plug. 3, your voice
for
is
sure.
so powerful and I would love to keep having it on my platform. So My pillars are bullying, boundaries, and beliefs, and you've touched on them again today. You did during our first episode also. But what would your encouraging words be? I mean, I know you just shared some. Um, your encouraging words to people your age or even younger than you that are struggling with things that you shared about struggling with this morning.
I would say it's never too late. It's never not possible to get back up. It's not a setback. It's just a moment. It'll pass. And there's always tomorrow. There's always today. And honestly, you made it through the night, you know? I made it through the night. You made it through the night. That's
Here
the
we are.
biggest thing.
Here
We made it. So we're still here. We're still breathing. So that's important.
God is faithful and he promises to never give us more than we can handle, right? And
Yeah.
that looks different every day. But
Right.
he's never not answered me when I called,
Right.
even if it wasn't as loud as I wanted it to be or the answer I wanted. He's
Right.
never left me nor forsaken me. He doesn't break his promises like people
Mhm.
have over and over and over again.
Right.
I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have my faith. Faith,
Yeah.
the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains.
Mhm.
Yet my faith is a pivotal part. It's the biggest part of me today.
Yeah.
And it looks different, but it's still, God is my number one lifeline and
Yeah.
always has been. He's protected me through so many things, as I'm sure you could already testify
Yeah.
to, right?
For sure.
Okay, contacts. Share some contacts if people would like to reach out to you so I can put them up on the screen.
Z. Hey, it's Vic. It's HEYITZVIC_.
That's your Instagram. Okay.
On my TikTok
And TikTok. Okay. And Facebook.
is Victoria Lintoon.
Okay. Primal plug. You introduced me to Primal. Give a
Yes.
plug. Tell us what it's doing for you and how you would like to share it.
My goodness. Primal Queen is changed my life. Oh my God. I will tell you, I was not awake. I was sleeping until noon. So that's the biggest one. I am here and awake, especially after last night. I am awake. My energy is better. My hormones are balanced. My periods are regulated. My skin is clear. I am just overall a better person. I feel better. I am doing better. It's amazing. And I just cannot stress enough how much that has really helped me with my energy and everything.
How
So,
did you find it?
my mom actually, my
Really?
mom was looking for stuff. It actually started with beef tallow. She likes to do beef tallow on her skin.
Okay.
And I was like, "You're crazy for putting beef fat on your skin." And then a couple weeks later, she goes, "Tori, you're gonna love this
Look
one."
at this.
And she was like, "I'm gonna take beef organs." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then here I am taking beef organs, changed my life. Yeah. Primal Queen
Incredible.
stuff. It's
It is. And I just started using it a couple of weeks ago. I love the smell of it. It's
the peppermint, the heart. Yeah.
little green capsules. It's a woman who created this product,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
So what is well, I can find the website, but Primal Queen is the name of the product.
Mhm. Yeah, I can send you my link because they can get 25% off.
Please, so I can put that up on here
Mhm.
too. So yeah, people can definitely be a part of that. Um,
Awesome.
thank you again for being here,
No
girlfriend.
problem.
I am sorry about the experience you had last night, but I am so grateful that you're turning it
Learning.
positive. It's motivating you. It's motivating me. And I know it's going to motivate our listeners. So that concludes this episode with lovely Victoria. I will put her contact information up on the screen when this is edited so everybody will have it. But for now, while you're waiting, if you'd like to reach out to her or myself for anything that was discussed today or anything you'd like to talk about or share at all, you can find me on Facebook at Mimi Behind the Mic. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at MBTM 2025. And you can find this episode, all my previous episodes, and all of our future episodes on all your streaming platforms. So thank you so much for being here, girl, and I will talk to you soon.
All right.
Stay
Bye.
good to yourself.